Steven Crowder appeared to get destroyed once again on Twitter. This time, Joe Biden just decided to do a small move, $10,000 of student loan debt, $20K for Pell Grant if you're making under 125,000. So very, very means tested. It's still something though, so I'm not going to downplay it entirely. And there's also like some really good interest rate mitigating factors in there to prevent the interest rate from overriding the debt relief. But anyways, Steven Crowder, along with a bunch of other conservatives, were very, very angry about this. And so here's what he said. He sent out a tweet reading, "Student loan forgiveness sounds really nice to illegal immigrants, people with no life experience, people who don't have families yet, and people who use preferred pronouns." So, of course, this is not anything that's true. Student loan debt is literally, bearing over not only this generation, but even older people who are way out of the schooling and they're still trying to pay off their debt. So none of what he's saying is actually true. People are also pointing out, saying, like, doesn't everyone want to use preferred pronouns? Like, doesn't Steven Crowder have preferred pronouns? If you started calling him her and she, would he like that? He'd say, no, use my preferred pronouns. So none of this stuff really makes any sense whatsoever, honestly. I don't even know, like, the illegal immigrants thing. I'm not even sure where he gets that from. How are illegal immigrants getting these loans? Again, if you're a Republican, you always have to throw the illegal immigrants in there somewhere. You always have to. But it appears that Steven Crowder has been getting a lot of loan forgiveness himself. The PPP loans appear to be like one of the biggest scams in recent memory, because all these businesses were inflating the amount of employees that they had, and there was no good check system. And so they would just get a bunch of money, and then if they used the money as business expenses, the loan would just be forgiven. They wouldn't actually have to pay it back. So it's one of the biggest scams in recent history. And it appears that Louder with Crowder is in part of that scam. Loan amount $70,445. Amount forgiven $71,208. So his loan that he took out, his PPP loan that he took out, was actually forgiven. So, and that 71,000 is 7 times the amount that a person making under 125K, which is the only people who actually qualify, actually got. 10K is what they got. So he got 7 times more. And so there's so many people who took part in this PPP scam, where they got these loans that ended up just getting forgiven. They didn't have to pay it back. And so now all these people who are out here trying to claim that, oh, look at these student loans, don't take on debt that you can't pay back, don't do this, don't do that. And it's like, dude, you all did that. You all took loans during the coronavirus pandemic, honestly, which a lot of these guys, I'm not even sure if they even really needed it. Did they really need the money in any way? And then the money gets forgiven. So it's kind of like forgive loan for me, but not for thee kind of thing. And I would say that this has really taken the wind out of the Republicans' sails, to be honest. It ended up being the case where now anybody that's really Republican who's trying to do this, I joke you not, like almost all of these people have this situation where they took out a PPP loan and then it got forgiven. Even Ben Shapiro had a $20,000 which is double the amount that one person would get, for the student loans cancellation. And, it would be the same amount if you're a Pell Grant, a recipient under 125K. So it's clear that these guys don't really care about, the forgiving the student loans. I think that they're just against students in general and just don't care. I mean, I think there's multiple reasons, but I think they're just kind of conservative and trying to find a way to do it. Student loan forgiveness is beneficial because it allows for more economic activity to take place, more consumption from students. It's also good to incentivize students to continue to go. The more people that get forgiveness in student loans, there's going to be a better outlook in the future for potential students, and education is good because it raises your income and thereby your consumption level and your taxes. So all of that is very good. And you want to invest in your populace. You want to invest in an intelligent populace that, is, becoming pilots and scientists and engineers and doctors and all of this stuff. That's just generally speaking what you want to do. It's common sense. And so this is something that's really good. And it's pretty hilarious to see conservatives who are getting these, all these loans forgiven. One of the biggest scams ever, PPP, coming out against the student loan debt. I mean, come on, dog.